Why is Genji such a hard character to learn? There are a lot of answers to this question, but I'm gonna be focusing on three main ones. First one being the Genji main culture, essentially, and then also the two traps or the main traps that I feel like come with Genji's flexibility. And I like to say that Genji's flexibility is both a blessing and a curse. Let me explain. If you're playing Reaper at 30 meters away from your opponents, right? You just shoot him. You're basically dealing 0 damage, right? Reaper is not a sniper. Here, Reaper is a close range brawler, right? So what do you want to do if you're playing against someone like a Soldier 76 shooting you from afar? You cannot walk down main, right? Because you're just gonna get lasered before you get close. He always wins, right? The Soldier wins. Meanwhile, Genji gets to shoot your opponents at range, right? So even though Genji is stronger at close range than he is at long range, it's not like he is similar to Reaper where he can't do anything at range and he does everything close, right? You can do some decent poke damage as Genji. And this is where this flexibility of Genji both having long and short range becomes a problem. Because oftentimes you're gonna be facing someone that has better range than you, but you're gonna still end up just poking them from afar and just wasting resources. Because think about this. If Soldier is just lasering you from afar, and you're just walking down main trading poke with him, you're gonna be losing very badly. Then, in order to not die, you're gonna be needing healing, right? Healing mostly from your supports. So the Soldier can probably stand there alone with his healing pad, and then in the meantime, you're kind of just basically not doing damage to him and constantly needing resources from, let's say, your Ana or whoever, right? Pocketing you so that you just don't just straight up feed, right? And then the Soldier's just waiting the game, right? He's trading 1 for 2 by shooting you and not really taking damage back from you because he's also taking the attention of your support, right? So what does your tank do? Your tank kind of just struggles now that your Ana is just solo pocketing you on a losing duo. So that's the problem. In that matchup, your focus as Genji should be to flank around, avoid damage from the Soldier at long to mid range, right? You want to use dash to cross or deflect to cross. And once you get close, once you have cooldowns, now you should win the duel, right? Because you are better at Soldier than Soldier at close range, right? That's what you should be doing. That's why oftentimes it would be better if Genji was actually just like Reaper where he has 0 poke. Because then he wouldn't fall into this trap of actually trading poke with someone that he's losing, because he would be losing so drastically that it would be immediately apparent that that has to be wrong, right? Whereas with Genji, it might feel like, oh no, my aim is just bad or whatever, right? So yeah, that is one of the main traps. The other one, it's not really a trap per se, but let me explain. For example, you walk down main against a Soldier, right? Or let's say that you were walking down main and you didn't know that they had a Soldier. Now the Soldier suddenly peeks from the high ground and starts shooting you. Most likely reaction is going to be to use deflect and walk into cover, or press deflect, shoot the Soldier back, and then maybe engage him or something, right? There are many ways that could go. But here's the thing. If you were playing Zen instead of Genji, right, and you were out of position, let's say that you're in the middle of main, just where if anyone looks at you for half a second, you should just evaporate, right? Because you're in a bad position. You're not Zen though, you're Genji, so you're not gonna evaporate. So that positional mistake is not gonna be instantly punished, right? So then again, we create this problem where the learning process for Genji is actually a lot harder than it is for other characters, because he's missing that crucial negative feedback from doing bad plays, right? Going back to the previous range example, you're missing that negative feedback from training poke at range because your poke is decent, right? It's not like it's awful like Reaper. So you're not going to, or it's very unlikely that you're gonna end up looking at that scenario and be like, I'm doing something really wrong there. I should not be trading poke there. I should be actually flanking around. Because what oftentimes happens is that you're gonna be blaming your tank for not taking space for you to allow you to do bad pathing essentially, right? Walking down main and actually survive the Soldier to get close range to him and win the duel. You're entirely dependent on your tank hard carrying you in that situation, right? And in the case of deflect, deflect is a really important tool that you need for duels. oftentimes if you don't have your deflect, you're also not going to be using dash because you're probably not engaging someone with dash and then not having the deflect for the duel, right? That's a little bit awkward. Maybe you're poking a little bit more aggressively and then once you get low you dash back, but it's like not having dash, or rather not having deflect, essentially means that you don't have deflect. I'm really messing this up, I'm sorry. But you get the point, right? Not having deflects oftentimes means that you're not going to be using dash for the next 8 seconds. You're going to be waiting for your deflects to be able to do something meaningful, right? Take a duel, because you want to have full resources for a duel. So that is a big important thing. And this is why oftentimes it can feel like you're putting so many hours into an already really hard mechanically and game sense and everything character, right? Genji is extremely hard character to learn, and then there are also all of these traps built into the character because of his flexibility that make it so unless you have a really good eye and you're VOD reviewing yourself every game or whatever, right? You're not really gonna be noticing that, or I mean, the best way, even if you do actually VOD review yourself, oftentimes you're just gonna be biased unconsciously because it's your own gameplay, right? It's hard to be just completely unbiased when judging yourself, right? That's why the best situation would be to have help from someone that is qualified elsewhere, right? Maybe a coach, right? That can actually give you that unbiased opinion and help you to show you where you are lacking, what you should be doing to improve that. Whatever you need to get to the next step, right? To get to that next rank and continue improving instead of stagnating, right? And that's where I think the community part comes in. I don't think that it is necessarily wrong for viewers to enjoy watching Genji montages and just crazy hype matches from pop-off moments, pop-off players, right? But I think that there is a problem when 99.9% of the Genji content that we see out there is just purely gameplay. There is zero educational, it's just entertainment, right? So while entertainment has its value, I do wish that there was more educational content out there, right? Which is the void that I'm essentially trying to fill with this channel, and I have been for a while, and I'm gonna keep doing for a while because there's so much that I want to talk about, and so you only have so much time to do it, right? So it's gonna take a while for me to do all the map guides and stuff like that I want, but yeah, that's what I want to talk about, because that is a massive problem, because it's already a small amount of people that wants to actually watch educational content and actually improve, but once they do want to improve, oftentimes it's gonna be bad advice, because let's say someone like me, not trying to ego or anything, right? But I am pretty qualified for coaching and stuff like that. I offer coaching. I have a channel on my Discord with coaching reviews that people can send me, and it has been all positive. I don't pay for positive reviews. If I do a bad coaching session, I want feedback to get better, right? That's the whole thing. I'm always looking to improve, right? And I feel like I'm pretty good at teaching, right? Hence why I have an educational channel to teach Genji, and I also coach Genji and other characters, right? I have a lot of understanding of the game. That's not the case for other players. Just being a top 500 player doesn't mean that you know how to teach the game, right? It can mean that you know how to play the game, but it doesn't mean that you know how to teach. And that's very, very important, because a lot of players think that just because someone is high ranked, they can give advice, when that isn't true. Oftentimes when you ask advice from just some random top 500 Genji or something like that, they're gonna be end up giving some really, really bad advice. And let me give an example. Let's say that you're trying to practice your blade. The single most common thing that I see when someone asks for that is someone just saying, oh, go practice workshop codes for a few hours every day or something, right? Like, yes, workshop codes can be nice to practice blade, but they are not actual in-game moments. That's the problem. A workshop cannot simulate the reactions that players are gonna have and the scenarios that are gonna happen in-game. And the biggest part of Blade, I feel like, is not the mechanics. Even though mechanics are important, right? Once you get to a decent level, right? The baseline level, There is obviously a lot of improvement that you can make. You can be faster, you can be more accurate, and stuff like that. But once you feel okay blading, right? You're not struggling with it. Just but your mind is full just thinking about the mechanics of it. Once you're fine with that, and that is all subconscious essentially, what you need to be practicing is actually how to blade. What is the timing of the blade, right? Who is my first target? Am I gonna blade the tank, or am I gonna blade the squishes in the back, right? Am I gonna blade to start the fight, or am I gonna let my tank engage, bait some cooldowns, and then I'm gonna engage from on flank with the blade, and I'm gonna clean up, and I'm gonna win the fight, right? How exactly do I go about blading? And that's the kind of advice that is just mostly lacking, and most of the times when a question like that is asked, the answer is the wrong one. The answer of grind workshop codes for hours is gonna waste time, and it's actually gonna make them worse. Because what's gonna happen is that they're gonna be fixated on this idea of, oh, I gotta be better mechanically, I gotta work on my speed so they can't hit me because I'm so fast. Right? No, that's not it. Just let your tank jump in, take the sleep darts. Now you can't be slapped. Now you don't have to do 3 ghost dashes to dodge it, right? Or think about how you outplay the sleep dart. Maybe you dash up, and then once you're falling, the Ana is gonna go for the sleep, double jump. Boom, it throws off her aim. That's it. Something as simple as that can be the outplay. Also, something that I like to do for baiting cooldowns and stuff is something that I like to call the pause jump technique, where I pull out the blade, and then I just sit there with my blade. I'm holding my blade, maybe even deflecting, and I just wait. I don't engage. And then I just watch my opponents. Let's say they have Anne and Kiriko, right? There is a clip that I used on my collab with Spylo that showcases this exact moment. The Anna instantly nades the ground because she's expecting me to instantly engage. The Kiriko TPs back and Suzu's the ground, right? And then what did that do? Nothing. Didn't do anything because I didn't engage. I didn't play into those. I just let them panic. And then after those cooldowns, I dash in, I swing, they're dead, right? That's it. That's all I had to do. I just had to wait 1 second, right? And it's not even like this is the full depth of all the outplays that you can do. There's so much that you can do that's actually insane. You have dash, you have deflect, you have double jump, you have wall climb, right? You also have the resets for your dash. So it's like there's just so much that you can do. It's actually crazy. And then also the amount of depth of deflect too, right? You can deflect a lot of cooldowns, and all of those cooldowns and all of the damage that you can deflect can change the breakpoints and interactions and stuff. And it's like that kind of stuff makes me really happy with this game, right? Like when I pull off a really crazy outplay, like that is where most of my joy on this game comes from nowadays. And I know that a lot of other players are there for just like this funny swish swoosh, right? They just go fast, just kill everyone, and then wow, so fast, dude. I'm so good. And it's like there's merit in that. I was that once, but I think that there is moments and moments, because it's not like you have to be boring to play in the way that I'm playing, where I'm outplaying cooldowns, I'm being patient with blade, I'm going for more high value plays instead of just necessarily, oh, okay, I'm gonna be killing 5 or I'm not killing anything, right? I'm satisfied with a 1k if it guarantees the fight, right? But there are still moments where I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna make some really clean plays. It's not because you're playing smart that you aren't necessarily gonna look mechanically impressive, right? It's not like you have to sacrifice. In fact, I would argue that if you are both mechanically impressive and smart, you're gonna be able to pull those plays off more consistently, right? So you're gonna be just farming. You're just, that is positive for you. Being smart is not gonna mean that you're farming less clips. It's gonna mean that you're farming more clips. So I don't, even on the perspective of someone that is like, oh, but it's so boring to try to play smart, and I don't see the point. I don't see the point of just doing that, because at the end of the day, you're just handicapping yourself for a really foolish reason, and on an argument that you're just not willing to see, right? That is the main thing. If you're gonna die on this hill of speed and then being smart is just bad because I'm not gonna get that many clips, at that point it's like you're just so one-minded that you're not gonna hear anything, right? So I can't really help you at that point. Anyways, I ended up ranting a little bit, but I think that this explained pretty well why in general Genji feels like such a hard character to learn. And yeah, I'm not gonna be spending more time. It's already quite late. I've been watching as the light just continuously drops on this room. I didn't think that I would need to turn on the lights for this, and I was right. I feel like it has been lit well enough for this video. But anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.